We all mess up. We go through the day praying and quoting a verse or two, trying to stay strong and, trying to make it through, what we're going through and stuff. And, if you're overcoming an addiction or whatever it is and you're praying, you're asking God, how do I do this? Help me overcome this. And I heard this morning, God pressed it on my heart is you're only getting half the help. We say, Lord, help me overcome this, help me beat this battle, but we never actually open the Bible. We pray, but we don't read. We quote a verse, but we don't know the story behind it. Yeah, you might know, 1 Peter 2:24, but can you tell what happens in the rest of Peter's letter? Can you tell what God was saying before and after that verse? Prayer is powerful, but prayer without the word is fighting with only half of your armor. If you really want to overcome, if you really want freedom, you've got to open the book, not just quote it, read it, learn it, and live it. It's a daily thing. It's not just a one-time thing. And yeah, you can start with, a verse, but, turn that verse into 2 verses, turn it into 3, do 5 minutes a day, do 10 minutes a day, and once you get in the word and you're actually reading, it becomes easier to understand. It becomes, smoother, and you'll soon get to where you can't get enough of the word. So just stay strong like that in the word, and not just in these verses that we memorize in our brain and stuff. It's good to do that and speak them out of your mouth, but let's learn more about those verses and what came before and what becomes after it too. Thanks for watching, guys. And I know if you're struggling this morning, this is for you. I've been there. I know what it's like to struggle with, addictions and stuff. But the only way that we're going to overcome it is to actually do the work. You don't become, a famous, NBA player without putting in the time and putting in the work. It's the same thing with, overcoming something. You can't just, it's not a magical thing. It doesn't just happen just like that. You have to actually do your part too. God's there. He's already done his part, but you have to do your part too.